New Karate Kid movie in theaters.
Isn't it wild how that's made such a comeback? I
Oh my
mean,
gosh, yeah, Cobra Kai
like
and
Cobra
yeah,
Kai was so good. I thought it
yeah,
ended really well too. I don't know if you finished it.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was a well-rounded show, and it was like the way it ended, even with Crease.
yeah,
I was like, I don't know.
yeah.
We didn't see a body,
That's true.
and you
That
know
is
how that
true.
goes, so it's like almost left it open for like, yeah, we're done, but like
Yeah,
we didn't technically kill everyone or anyone.
that's
I
right.
mean, they both didn't die because we didn't see the bodies.
Such
So
an amazing. I mean, I think the first like two seasons are just perfect.
yeah,
And then I feel like in the middle it gets a little like, okay, we're still having
yeah,
karate wars all the time. All right. But I agree with you. Like
yeah.
we circle back around and by the end, but
The
I would,
violent school karate wars. Yeah,
yes,
you
yes.
got to
But
remember.
I
Yeah.
rate that, especially that first season is like a 5-star watch. It's
Oh my
so
gosh,
good.
so
It's
good.
so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I love it. I'm looking forward to the new movie.
Yeah, once they kind of opened up the Sekai Taikai,
Yeah.
that's where it kind of was just like, all right, where it was
Yeah.
just like, this is the state championship. Oh yeah, well this is the country
I
championship.
know.
Oh yeah, this is the world championship. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well we're gonna enter the universe
The
championship. You're just
global,
like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah, yeah.
gosh, where you're just like, okay,
I
all
know.
right, yep,
It
we,
just
we
keeps
get it.
going.
There's always another one that's better.
It just
You
keeps
know?
going. But yeah, very good watch. And it's so rare. I think especially for a Netflix show to go 6 seasons. I feel like those get
Yeah,
like
right.
two
Yeah, like
seasons maybe.
three, four, maybe even
Yes,
four.
it's like they
Yeah,
won't let anything grow, but Cobra Kai really got time to like stretch its wings and some great
yeah.
character development. And I just love Johnny the whole time.
Oh, she's so good. He is. I love him because Tara would always
Hilarious.
be like, "Oh my gosh, you are him.
Yeah.
You are
I
Johnny."
don't know
Like,
if that's a
and
compliment,
I'm like,
but
yeah, I'm like, yeah, just for that karate. But I
yeah,
get angry. We
yeah,
listen to the same music.
yeah, yeah. Blondes,
So
you know,
blondes,
keeping
good
it tight.
looking.
So yeah, exactly, exactly.
Old but fit.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the new movie, and I'm looking forward to watching the old cartoon in a future episode.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Should be fun. Welcome to This Endorian Life, a nostalgic Star Wars podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and this time our journey through Star Wars vintage brings us to the world of thumbs.
That's right. Today, in honor of our 4th anniversary,
Wow.
we are discussing the short film Thumb Wars, The Phantom Cuticle. This special first aired May 18th, 1999 on UPN.
Yes.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of things that date this. We'll talk about that with the releases. But yeah, almost 26 years to the date ago this aired. So yeah. And I, well, we'll get into our history with them wars. Let me tell you a little bit about the cast and crew. Here we go. Written and directed by Steve Odekirk with music by Robert Folk. After its television airing, it was released on VHS with the DVD to come the following year. So those were 2001, 2002. It got a physical media release. Then in 2005, it was released on UMD Video and on the PSP for PlayStation. So look at that. What a time capsule.
Format. Yeah.
Just sit back
UMD.
with your green ketchup, and watch Phantom Cuticle on your device. Okay, here's our cast. Steve Odekirk, the man who does it all, is voicing Loke, Groundrunner, Beep Boop, and Gabba the Butt. So I watched this on DVD, and there was a behind the scenes interview with Gabba the Butt that was pretty funny. He was just he played it like a very high class Shakespearean actor, doing this little part for this movie. It was
No way.
it was pretty funny. I mean, it was 2 minutes long, but it was pretty funny. We have Andrea Fears as Princess Bunhead, Ross Schaefer as Han Duet, Paul Greenberg as Prissy Pio, Jim Jackman as Crunchy. Jim Jackman was also in Spaceballs, so I guess if there's a Star Wars parody, he's got to be involved.
Parody of parody.
That's right. We have Mike DiCarlo as Black Helmet Man, and our featured cast member, our Star Wars link for this episode. Prolific voice actor Rob Paulson voices Ooby-Doob Benooby in Thumb Wars, and he would return to Star Wars a few more times, notably voicing Commander Cody in the 2011 Lego Star Wars special, The Padawan Menace.
No way.
Yep.
That's so great.
So, yeah. They were probably like, "So, Rob, do you have any history with Star Wars?" And he was like, I don't want to talk about it."
It's like his Christmas or his holiday special.
Exactly. All right. So tell me, because I honestly have heard you talking about this since the early 2000s. How did you discover this? Where did this come from?
I honestly have no idea how we discovered it. I think we had it on VHS at one point and somehow found it. And I watched it so many times that I could recite the entire movie. It's only 30
I know
minutes.
that. I know that. Yeah.
Really, not even 30. But I could, I mean, you've heard me do it. And then like watching it, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I got that line totally perfect.
Yep.
I got that one totally. I messed up that one a little bit." Like
I felt like watching it like I could recite the dialogue just from hearing you do it for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So we finally come full circle.
Hard. It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know, like where my memories start and your memories stop. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I've ever seen this or part of this before. I don't think so. But I remember. Do you remember Suncoast? Do you remember that store, like that store in the mall, Suncoast, the motion picture store? Loved that store. And they always had copies of this and Bat Thumb and Thumbtanic. And I remember seeing those all the time. I feel like I've seen Bat Thumb. I'm pretty sure I've seen Bat Thumb. Have you seen any of the others?
I don't think so. I think I've seen parts of Thumbtanic. And this was, it's funny, like this was a time when like spoof stuff was big. Remember like, what was that shirt company, like Big Dogs? Or something like that, where they always like had dogs as like characters to like pop culture movies and things like that. And they had like a bunch of stuff. It was like spoof era. And there was spoof television shows, spoof movies.
Yeah. That's true. This is the era of like Scary Movie and the Spider-Man ripoff, whatever, the superhero movie. I can't remember, but yeah, you're right. You're right. This was the time of parody. We can trace it all back to Weird Al, I guess.
Probably actually,
he really he really got things going for us. So I think that this was the first time that I've ever sat. I mean, I know it was the first time I watched it start to finish, and I think beyond just clips and your perfect recitations, this probably was my intro. I watched it with my son, who pretty much had a smile on his face the entire time.
Yeah, it's good.
I guess they knew their audience and they went for it.
Hey, if I still laughed, I mean, come on, like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you represent the height of sophistication. I think we all know that. You're a cellist. You just compared yourself to Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai, so
I'm a Renaissance man.
You are, yeah, you are. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Thumb Wars. Hit me with the uber detailed plot.
So this is the fandom, or wait, not fandom.
Okay,
the Star Wars
like the wiki. Okay,
the wiki of it.
All right,
and it's not great, but I mean, I think it could be summed up in 2 sentences. But
true.
Like, this is how their uber detailed plot goes.
All right, let's go.
Thumb Wars, the Phantom Cuticle. If there were thumbs in space and they got mad at each other, there would be Thumb Wars.
Great start. That is a great. When that comes up on the screen, I laughed right out loud.
It's so good. Space is divided between the Galactic Thumpire and the Thumbellian Resistance. The Imperial Thumbs under the control or command of Black Helmet Man, whose favorite bedtime story is Mr. Wuggum's Bunny Rabbit and the Dark Lords of the Abyss. Not sure. That's in there.
Okay.
This is what they wrote.
All right.
He has built the Thumb Star, a super weapon that can spin a whole planet. Princess Bunhead, before her ship can escape, receives an attack from a giant Thumperial hand ship and is boarded by Thumb troopers. Meanwhile, Loke Groundrunner, a farm boy who lives with his uncle, soon dead and ain't gonna bite it, meets the digits Precipio and Beep Boop Beep, who were formerly in the service of the princess. Ooby-Doob Scooby-Dooby Banooby shows up, and after Loke's uncles are manicured by Thumb troopers, the two men, they're clipped. They're
Yeah, they
clipped.
are.
I mean,
Yeah.
the two men, or the two thumbs, I should say, and the digits go meet a pilot who's going to drive them to Bunhead's aid. In a cantina full of aliens, mutated fingers, alien thumbs, people with two thumb heads, its toes, etc., they meet Hand Duet with his assistant Crunchy, an animal's finger, who owe a lot of money to Gabba the Butt. The team eventually rescues the princess, but Oobidoob gets killed by Black Helmet Man during their duel on the Thumb Star. On their way home, Loke meets the puppet on an asteroid without any other coherence to the story.
True.
I know, it's like finally the battle begins, and the Thumbellian ships begin an assault against the Thumpire's massive battle station. The dog fight with the fist fighters until Loke confronts Black Helmet Man. In a critical moment, he learns that his arch nemesis is in fact a woman, and more specific, his mother. Roll credits.
What a twist. What
No.
a twist.
It's interesting because it really takes us through all three of the original movies. Yet
Yeah.
it's called Phantom Cuticle, like
Yeah.
Phantom.
That's true.
But like they do a good job of kind of like, you know, A New Hope, then a little bit of. Do they even really get into Empire? Pretty much just goes from.
I mean, the only thing they get into Empire is the introduction of Yoda and the training, or the puppet. Sorry, the puppet.
Yoda, and then they go right to Return of the Jedi, and then it kind of comes back around, like the culmination of the battle.
Yeah,
is just the Battle of Yavin. So
I mean, this is a silly thing to say. We're talking about Thumb Wars, but I thought structurally they were pretty smart. You know, the way they got Oobidoob out of the way and like brought in the puppet, and so you have like the puppet doing the training on the ship and everything, and and then bringing it back to culminate with the attack on the what is it called? It's not the Death Star. What is the Thumb Star?
Thumb Star.
The Thumb Star was pretty good overall. Right from the start, I thought it was funny how whiny they made Loke, because Mark Hamill is so like, I was going to go and get power converters, or all that stuff. He's just very Uncle Owen, very whiny.
You don't know who I am inside. You never have. I'm going to run away and never come back.
Yeah,
fine.
It's a good parody because like you see exactly where all this stuff is coming from. So there's a couple of recurring bits that I didn't really understand, but I did laugh. And one of them was how they kept dragging Precipio and Beep Boop behind wherever they were, like the Jawas or whatever, drag them, and then Oobidoob later was dragging them behind. It was just, I guess you needed a 3 to meet the comedy rule. And why Oobidoob was like, touch your tongue to mine to make it official.
One of my favorites.
Why?
I've used that so many times. People are like, all right, how do we start? And I'll just be like, well, all right. Well, the way we start is touch your tongue to mine. And they do the same thing. They're like, what? And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. It's from something. Like, it's so good to touch your tongue to mine.
Yeah.
To make it official. to
make what official?
No, all of it.
All of this. Yeah.
Fine, let's go. But it's the mouth where he's like,
yeah,
it's ready.
It took me like it was watching that special feature of Gabba the Butt to figure out what I was looking at, and he's just upside down.
It's upside down head.
Just an upside down head. Yeah, I could not figure it out, and then finally it just clicked, and I was like, okay, I get it. So
good.
Yeah,
I used to that whole like Hand Duet. I used to be able to quote that entire thing.
Yeah,
I don't take money. It's going to cost you a lot. I don't take money. Only girly giggles.
You know what I thought was funny? There was like an unintentional parody when Princess Bunhead shows up and she's like, I escaped somehow. Let's go. All I could think of was somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, right.
And it's like,
it's been done before.
I don't know. Like, is Rise of Skywalker now parodying Thumb Wars? I'm not sure. But that did stand out to me as something funny. But
in this, I found a new appreciation for the Death Star trench briefing.
Oh yeah,
right. Because I used to, it's the ultimate battle station of destruction the universe has ever seen.
Yeah.
Luckily, they included a button right here that'll blow the entire thing up. And it's just like I remember that line, quoting it so many times. And Princess is like, why would they do that? And he's like, I don't know. And it's like, that line hits so great. He's like, "Oh yeah, it is kind of like that."
Yeah.
But then Rogue One comes
Rogue
out,
One.
and you're like,
Yep.
"Oh, okay, all right, I get it. It was designed that way, and
Yeah.
that's why." But it's still funny that like
It is funny.
you hear that and you're like, "Oh yeah, you're right." You just zip in, follow a straight line, and fire.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's just good. I just thought seeing that, I was like, "Yeah, that's right." I quoted that 1,000 times, and now I have full perspective because of Rogue One.
That's right.
Actually answered a question everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
Why did the Death Star have such a simple weakness?
Yeah.
And this is why. Makes sense. Unlike Palpatine, we in that
Yeah.
book, but we got no answers to any of the answers that we
True.
wanted to know.
That is true. That is true. Well, it's kind of also like in Solo when they do the Kessel Run in whatever 12 parsecs, and they make
Yeah.
that make sense in Solo. I
Make
mean,
the distance. Yeah.
laboriously, but it's kind of
That is
fun to
quite a
do that
long
anyway.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like literally the most slapsticky action in that entire
it's
movie.
true.
The
It
whole
is
thing.
true. It is true. I really liked when they're in the Thumb Star run at the end, and the other guys keep calling Loke different, like, "Okay, Red Rooster," and he's like, "But I'm not Red Rooster," and he just kept hitting him with all these different,
That's
like,
okay, swollen ostrich.
yeah.
I'm not swollen ostrich. No problem,
I thought that
nasty
was
dog.
pretty funny.
Stay
Yeah.
dog. Oh, nasty butler.
Yeah, yeah, he's just playing it so straight. I thought that was pretty funny
That
overall.
is still. I actually wrote that one down as my Ichiwawa moment at first because I freaking loved when I was younger. I mean, well, I guess I was like, what, 17 when this came out?
Yeah, I
16?
guess so, yeah.
And like that was by far one of my favorite aspects. And then he gets blown up, because he covers him and he blows up. The Thumpire blows him up, and he's like, finally,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like good riddance that he got blown up. You know,
I guess one of the things I appreciate about this is something like this only works if the creators have like a true love for the source material.
oh
You
yeah,
know, and it's like there's all these little things that it's like you can tell they've watched Star Wars a million times, like we all have. But like, I feel like there's an attention to detail there where it's like these goofy little things that ring so true because you know exactly what they're referring to, and I liked that a lot. Also, cracked me up that all the helmets were thimbles. I thought that was
yes,
pretty clever.
all the yep, they're all thimbles, even the stormtroopers and everything.
Yeah,
Just clever. Everything's just done really well in like a really clever way. And it's the nail side, not the right. So apparently the Empire or the evil is their faces are on the nail side, I
right.
guess.
Yes,
Supposed to
yeah,
be, as opposed to the other side. So just really fun, clever ways. And they do everything really well, even the special effects, right?
yeah.
I was watching it again, I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of impressed about the quality of the special effects.
It's true. It is true, especially considering the time. It looked
Yeah.
decent. So. Oh, there's one other thing. When Ubi Doob shows up at the end, like in the, where you expect him to be like, use the Force, Loke. And
Yeah.
Loke's like, I know, I'll use the Force. And Ubi Doob shows up and he's like, just use the instrument panel, man. That's what it's for. There's a button.
Targeting computer. That's
Just
what it's for. Yeah.
Just use that. I thought that was funny.
So good.
Yeah.
But that's your true to what you said, that like that could only be done by somebody who's really a fan
Yeah.
of Star Wars, because they know the whole bullseye
The
and
joke
wombat.
only works if you're anticipating what they actually say in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's fully dependent on you getting that joke. But
Yeah,
I didn't even think about how it's named after Phantom Menace, but does not lampoon the prequels at all.
because it was
It's
coming
kinda
out.
funny. Yeah,
Came
no,
out,
it totally makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. So geez, what else was I thinking? One line that I completely forgot about, which I thought was very funny seeing again, and I laughed. They're like, "Oh, Uncle's soon dead, and ain't gonna bite it," and
Yeah.
he's like, "No," and then runs back, and they're like, they've been clipped,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Who could have done such a thing?" And Obi Doob is like, "Your father. I mean, a father away, man."
Yeah.
I forgot about that. It's just
Yep.
so good.
Yep.
It's literally just let it slip, like, your father. I mean, father
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
man.
That was funny. And the first time he says their names, I think it's Ubi Doob who's like, "What? Oh." Like he reacts to the gonna bite it and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
he's this first time he ever says it out loud. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the bad. Hit me with your Oak of Arc.
So after watching it, I feel like the line that hits the worst, and I still think it was one of the lines that I still was just like, ugh, from the first from when I first saw it is still the "I am your mother,"
Yeah,
Luke, I am your mother, and it's just like, all right, that's just like one of those you had to be opposite.
right. There's not really a joke there, I think is the
I
thing.
think,
It's just like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
it doesn't go anywhere, and it's just, yeah, it's just in an effort to be opposite,
Yeah.
where the rest of the jokes like resounded really well, even
Yeah.
if they were slightly opposite. They resounded, or else they made fun of themselves, which was really good.
Yeah.
I had also forgotten about the scene where he's training with Yoda,
Yeah.
and he keeps getting shocked with electricity, like in his face and his nuts.
Yeah.
And like I realized, like, man, that scene goes on for
It
a
does.
little too long. They
Hey,
only needed like a couple of them.
you're verging onto my oak of arc, and that is
Uh-oh.
the puppet in general. I feel like the Yoda
No
stuff
way.
to
No
I
way.
just don't think that works. You like it?
Who are you? I am a puppet. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
So,
But
okay.
it's I mean,
These
even if it was
powers
like
command us, control me.
even if
Yeah.
he was just like a finger puppet or something and that was the joke, but he is just like he kind of stands out because it is just a puppet, like it doesn't
Yeah.
look like anything else. I wish at the very least that it was just like a one of like a kid's finger puppet or something, and you just see the hand being like boop boop boop.
Like little like a kid's finger. That would have been
But
good.
I didn't really think that was funny, and it did. I felt like that whole from when he's introduced through what you're saying, the training scene was the
Yeah.
biggest slowdown. And it's only like 25 minutes, but like that scene, I don't know, it felt like it kind of killed the momentum and
Yeah.
wasn't particularly funny to me. Though I did laugh when he got shocked in the crotch because I guess that's just
That was pretty funny. He just gets
that's
shocked in
built
the
into
crotch
you. I don't know.
10 more times, and it's just
I
like,
think
okay.
what's funny about that is they don't make a big deal about it. It just keeps happening and nobody addresses it, and I think that's funny.
Yeah, and he
So,
finally gets it. And he's like, I did it right. And they're all like, yeah, you did it.
yeah, great job.
You know?
Great job. Yeah.
You know what scene I thought hit really well too, that I thought they did so good on?
Okay.
The I mean, it's the combination. It's when they're approaching the Death Star for the first time in the Millennium Falcon, or the hand.
Okay.
That whole scene of like, when are we gonna get there? And he's like, oh, it should just be on that moon. And you see a
Oh
butt
yeah.
crack.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, let me hike that up for you, kid. Like,
Yeah. That's
love
so
that.
much.
I love that. But then
Yeah.
then when Oobidoob was just like, "Too," and he's like, I feel the wailing of thousands of nauseous souls.
Yeah. Oh, because they're just spinning Alderaan. They're spinning
Spinning
it.
all around
Yeah,
instead of
that's
blowing
right.
up.
That's right. Is that your Ichiwawa moment? What is your Ichiwawa
No, I
moment?
think my Ichiwawa moment, I think, is the hand duet monologue.
Yeah. Just listing Harrison Ford's credits is pretty good.
I know, it's so
Yeah.
good. I mean, the fact that the skill, and one-armed man killed my wife, Sabrina, working girl.
Yeah.
Now I'm a fugitive and in clear and present danger. I should be presumed innocent, but they're playing Patriot games with me. Raiders regarding Henry, Blade Runner, Air Force One. I'm sorry, what was that last
What'd you say?
part?
What'd you say?
It's just
Funny
like,
because they stitched together the first part pretty well. Like it runs
Yeah.
off as a sentence, and then when he just abandons it and starts listing credits, it is funny.
Listing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Look, I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Yep.
So I just love that, man. And then like this time I looked a lot at Crunchy, and how
Yeah.
like he'd be like, "Ugh," his eyes.
Yeah. Because he's like a claw. He's like an animal hoof
He's
or
like an
something.
animal something.
Yeah,
or other.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, pretty good.
What about you? What was your
Well, I liked some of the stuff, like I mentioned in the beginning, how whiny Loke was. I thought was really funny. But the scene that really made me laugh, and again, it's because of how it connects to the original movie. In the briefing scene where, in A New Hope, there's that one Imperial who's just like, your stupid religion's not going to help us, That guy in this just like went off on him, and it was like extended, and he was just like, you stupid, like you don't know anything. I thought that
frog
was
legs and eyes on mute and conjure a potion that could get you your face back and make you 1 ounce less pathetic than you truly are.
yes. Yeah. I thought that was very funny. Very funny.
But what's great about it is not just that, it's the following. It's the because it crescendos in that, and it doesn't drop afterwards. It's the any other comments.
Yeah.
I have a question. Why do we all speak in British accents when we're from outer space and there is no Britain? And it like cuts to like the different guys and they're all looking at each other like, what? And he just pops his head off too. And then the scene ends. It's so great, man. The writing is just, it's so funny.
Well, it's a good blend of being like very juvenile, like basic, like FARC joke kind of stuff, but with also, some pretty good structural work and like it's a parody, I mean, it's a true parody. It's not, with a few exceptions, it's not just like, they did this, so we'll do this. Like it's actually pretty clever. So yeah, I agree. Normally I would ask you how many yub nubs, but I think I have to ask you how many thumbs up do you give this?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
We're doing this. Are we doing this out of 5 thumbs?
Sure. Let's do it out of 5 thumbs. Yeah.
I mean, I'd give this a 5 out of 5 thumbs. I love this. I think it's funny. This is a 5 out of 5 because it's for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm not just gonna, oh, have you seen Star Wars? Nah. Oh, I got the perfect thing for you.
Well, you'll love Thumb Wars, baby.
Yeah. Like no, absolutely not. But like, if anyone's like, yeah, Star Wars, and oh yeah, I've seen them all. Okay, then I have something for you to watch. To bring it all around and give a good, wholesome perspective to Star Wars. What about you? How many thumbs?
I don't have like a nostalgia for it. So just watching it for the first time, I think it's a solid 3.5 because it is funny. Whoa. I don't know that I would watch it again, but like when you quote it to me, like I will continue to laugh at it.
Yeah, I'll just quote it.
I got to tell you though, I bought a DVD copy for my library. And just like with Adventures of Tebow, I got a copy of that book for us and it circulated and I read to that class and the kid was like, oh, I love this book. I got Thumb Wars a couple of months ago and it's just been in the system and it's been checked out. Like people keep checking it out. Yeah. And so I was like, I needed it to do this episode because I'm not sure if it's online. I mean, I could have tracked it down, but it kept being checked out. So I had to put a hold on it so that the next time it came in, they would set it aside for me. Otherwise, like I never would have been able to watch this thing. So I think this library is also experiencing some Star Wars nostalgia right along with us because every time it happens again and again.
Somebody in town.
Yeah.
Hey, can't you go into the system and like?
I should.
Address?
Yeah.
Give me my DVD.
Yeah, that's true. Knock on the door. Hey, I'm breaking protocol here, but do you have Thumb Wars in this residence?
We're recording tomorrow, and I really need to watch it.
Listen, man. I'm sure you're a Star Wars fan, so you understand the importance of this.
Oh man, that's great.
Thumb Wars sweeping my local library. So.
I mean, that's the same thing we encountered with the MedStar.
MedStar, that's right. The MedStar duology on Living.
I'm like, I'm on hold behind 3 people, so of course I reach out to Nick and Amanda, and they're like, "No, I'm not. I don't
None of us have it."
Like,
yeah.
Who am I third in line?
It is pretty funny. It is pretty funny that this keeps happening. So, but obviously it's working, so I have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But next time we are getting back to the brick basics. So we covered the most recent Lego Star Wars stuff with Rebuild the Galaxy, which was a fun time. Next time we're going to be covering the very first ever Lego Star Wars shorts, and they include Revenge of the Brick, Quest for R2-D2, and Bombad Bounty. They're about 5 minutes each. They are all readily available on YouTube, so watch along with us. And we'll see how far Star Wars Lego has come in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's been 20 years. Isn't that crazy?
20 years of Star Wars Lego. Yeah, and I actually have never seen these. So I'm looking forward to watching them and discussing them with you right here on the show. Happy anniversary, by the way. 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Wow. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you next time.
See you then.
This Endorian Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Be sure to check out some of the other shows on the network like 9021 Here We Go or previously on X-Men. Please rate, subscribe, and share this show wherever you get your podcasts. Each one. This Endorian
Oh.
Almost got it.
You did.
I just fell at the start line.
Uh-huh.